You know, if you know muscle testing, you're comfortable with it. If you don't know muscle testing, you're going to think I'm the weirdest guy on the planet. Isn't that so? Those who know what it is. How many would vouch that the muscle test is in fact authentic and accurate and is helpful to getting your health back? Just so the other folks know. Okay. Muscle testing, here, for those of you who don't know and do know what the muscle test is, I would submit to you that your cells are intelligent. There's a lot of different thought out there among people who do muscle testing. What is it they are accessing? I would suggest that the body has its own intelligence. The intelligence of your brain is encased in the brain cell. But there's another intelligence which isn't hooked to the mouth that's responsible for the creation of a human being. Understand that, and the reason I'm going through this is in our culture, I like my brain too. I think it's wonderful. I'm sure you all enjoy your brains. But they don't develop till they're 25. If you listen to the experts, the frontal lobes kind of close around 24. And thank God my son just turned 24 because he's finally sane. It's just wonderful. It's just a great thing. Are you talking to me? Is that you? Whoop. So do you realize that if you put two cells in a test tube, the cells do what the scientists can't even dream of? They build a human being. How many are aware that test tube babies are around? Do you know that? Okay. I want to say that the intelligence of the cell, which is different from the intelligence of the mind, can take two cells and make this incredible machine. Let's give a little credit where credit's due. I mean, if you were a guy, no, forget that. If a guy were to say, the only intelligence is male, would he not be in trouble? You bet he'd be in trouble. To say that your only source of intelligence is here, you should be in trouble, okay? So the cells are intelligent. I would support that in a couple of ways. They communicate. How many know that cells communicate? Yeah. Let me tell you about and if you like this stuff, there's a book, the Healing Code. What a wonderful book. Explains all this stuff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the cells are intelligent. They're trainable. Has anybody here learned to type, dance, play guitar? How about, has anybody here learned to walk? Okay? All right. So you can train. I mean, that didn't come in the DNA. Your heart pumping did. Your immune system information did. Respiratory information did. Walking didn't. So you had to train your body, and the body remembers. Okay? So they're trainable. How many know that cells communicate? I said that already. Let's do it again. Okay? Let me tell you about the Einstein-Podolsky-Robertson experiment. Okay? Einstein-Podolsky-Robertson experiment was done in the 50s when all the rage was the polygraph test, lie detector test. Okay? Very exciting. They took a man, took a biopsy out of his cheek, flew it to a different military base. And then they put a machine, keeping the biopsy alive, on both the man and the biopsy, and the guy watches a scary movie. Anybody want to guess what happened? That's right. It measures electrical changes in the dermis. The graph made on the man was the graph made on the biopsy miles and miles away. So cells are communicating through a biological frequency. This has been proven by science. Now, we didn't need that because, of course, all of you have heard about hormones syncing up, maybe. All right? That's where I got it from my son's girlfriend. I said, have you ever had this thing where a new woman comes into the dormitory or the dental office, and all the ladies run to the bathroom at the same time for the same reason? And they sync up. She says, oh yeah, that's when the hormones sync up. What happened? Did they talk about it? To menstruate on the same day? No. But they did. You know why? Because cells talk. Einstein-Podolsky-Robertson experiment proved that. Or how many of you have heard of women whose sons die on the West Coast and they jump out of bed at 3 in the morning knowing that there's you know why? That kid's cells sent out a message. Women have all their wiring, so they get it. By the way, that's why women have intuition. the intelligence of the cell actually gets through. The men can't do that because they don't have much brain cell left, you see. Okay? Okay. So the cells are intelligent. You can train them. They communicate. They can make a baby from 2 cells. And the way you communicate them is with muscle testing. For those of you who don't know about muscle testing, this is what it looks like. Okay? You see someone here and they isolate the deltoid muscle. This is a way to do it. They ask the person a question, and then if it's true, the cells will give strength to that arm. And if it's not true, that person's arm will go down like that. Okay? Raise your hand if you've had that experience. Keep it up if it freaked you out the first time you did it. Okay? Because all of a sudden you see a different intelligence in your body you were not aware of, and you go, oh my gosh, what is this, magic? No, the cells are intelligent. They're just not wired to your throat. But they can govern the strength and weakness of your muscles. What does that do? You now have a yes and no device, don't you? And you're hooked to what? The factory. The factory. I mean, let's face it, if you had a car and it was busted, would you want the local mechanic to fix it, or would you prefer the factory? The factory. The factory made the car. The intelligence in the cell made you. What that means is, folks, you can go back to each of your symptoms, okay? And you can solve your puzzle. This is how you get well, folks. You got to fix your Rubik's Cube. Every symptom has a Rubik's Cube. Do I turn left? Do I turn right? Do I deal with autoimmune, allergy, bugs, emotions, or other? The body will tell you. Isn't that cool?